GM tells Cadillac dealerships to get on board with electric cars or get out of the way, and they're ready to put their money where their mouth is. We'll hear from Cadillac's head of global brand strategy, and then InsideEVs contributor Tom Moloughney will be here to tell us if this is really the solution for all legacy manufacturers to sell electric cars moving forward. Tesla's feud with XPeng Motors is heating up, with XPeng CEO recent harsh comments towards Tesla CEO Elon Musk. Next year's most anticipated electric cars get their EPA rating that may surprise some. Rivian sells out of its entire 2021 production inventory. We look at what Hummer EV could have looked like. Elon claims a new higher range for the Tesla Semi. Some evidence that the Model S and X refresh may be coming in March. Porsche makes a big claim about their Taycan sales, and you'll never guess which EV was the most popular in Europe in October. All of this is coming up next. Welcome to E4Electric, your number one source of electric car scoop. If this is your first time visiting, well, I hope you can stay simply by clicking the subscribe button and the bell notification icon so you don't miss anything moving forward. Let's get to our top story, and one of the biggest advantages that Tesla has over the legacy manufacturers, the competition, is the fact that they can sell the cars direct to consumers, and the legacy manufacturers are stuck with dealerships. And as you know, dealerships sell you the cars pretty cheap, almost at invoice prices, sometimes below, but they make their profits on maintenance, and electric cars don't really need that much maintenance. So as you can see, why dealerships are not really that excited about electric cars, which means lower profits. But this problem needs to be solved at some point, because electric cars are coming whether dealers like it or not, and GM is taking a first shot at solving this problem. GM is offering all of their Cadillac dealerships to take up to $500,000 to walk away, to stop selling Cadillacs if they are not willing to get on board with electrification, which means to retrofit their dealerships with the appropriate equipment, hire the appropriate people or train them, and so forth and so forth. And that can cost up to $200,000 per dealership. So if they don't want to do it, they are asked to leave. Of course, this is to clear the way for the upcoming all-electric SUV Cadillac Lyriq that's due in 2022, and this is a great step. This is really a bold move by GM. However, with them, I never know, because I remember a few years ago they were trying to get rid of some of their Cadillac dealerships because they felt they had too many. And I agree, there are too many Cadillac dealerships. However, now I'm wondering if they are really trying to push the electrification, or they're trying to accomplish that goal from a few years ago with the cover of doing this for the good of the electric car sales. Now, here's a clip of my conversation with the global head of brand strategy for Cadillac back in August. Is there a strategy right now that you're looking at in terms of how to either go around this problem, or to how to still work with the dealerships and make sure that they want to sell these electric cars and still be able to make money and eat?
Yeah, I guess my perspective and point of view is just slightly different. Having worked and sold cars at a dealership, servicing the service center and actually selling cars, I see this more as a partnership. These dealerships are pillars in our community, sponsoring little league teams.
Wait. See, whenever you have to bring the Little League into the conversation about electrifying your brand, you know you're in a tough spot. And they are in a tough spot, because I don't think there is a good answer, at least right now. And he's not the only one. For example, here's a part of my conversation with the president of Audi of America at the last LA Auto Show, and I don't think he gave me any better of an answer either.
I can tell you, all our dealers want to sell it. But the thing is, like, we are also at the beginning of a big transformation, an electric transformation. Those things don't happen overnight. As more products we bring to the market, as more opportunities we have for consumers to buy an electric vehicle. And I can tell you, every car our dealers sell, electric car, it helps them.
See, he wasn't even aware of the problem at that time, or at least not ready to talk about it publicly. And just like I said, they're going to have to come up with something, and it's going to be a tough call. If you ask me, the answer is going to be end up something that Tesla has already created, which kind of happens a little too much in this industry. Once again, they are the only ones innovating, unfortunately, but dealerships will have to make money on car sales. Who would have thought? Yes, they're just going to have to mark them up for fair profits and sell them at probably MSRP without any haggling. And then they'll make much smaller profits on maintenance. At the same time, they will be able to upsell some of the digital services and charging solutions. So overall, they should be able to stay in business. And yes, customers will have to pay more money for their cars, but then they will pay less for maintenance. And since most people finance or lease their cars, overall, they'll end up spending the same money on their cars together per month. So everyone will stay happy. For more, as always, we turn to InsideEVs contributor Tom Moloughney, but before that, a quick reminder that this segment is sponsored by Electrify America, the largest public fast-charging network in the United States that provides the freedom for all electric car drivers to go wherever they need to go, including coast to coast. Find stations, start charging, track and end your sessions all from your smartphone with their mobile app. Download it to find hundreds of locations and sign up for their membership. Get started using the link in the description of this video. All right, Tom, so I gotta admit, with GM, I just don't know anymore. Are they, with stuff that they do, it's either a genuinely trying to move forward to electrification, or they have some other agenda, like in this case, they have tried getting rid of some of the Cadillac dealerships before. So is this another attempt with an excuse of this whole electric lyric side effect, or is it they're genuinely trying to get everybody on board?
Yeah, it's hard to really view it as they're genuinely trying to get everybody on board. It really seems like just another attempt at thinning the herd. They think they have too many dealers here in North America, and they want to have less. So this outreach to offer them money if they're not going to get serious about EVs, I think the motive really here is to just have less Cadillac dealerships.
Well, that's unfortunate, but it hopefully will set a precedence over the rest of not maybe GM brand, but also the rest of the industry. And that's what I guess I want to get your take on this, because you train dealers on how to sell electric cars all the time, and every time we talk to you or some dealership doing these classes. But so what is the general solution? And we're talking about beyond GM. What is the general solution of having these dealerships still exist, but at the same time make money on these electric cars when they won't be able to make the money on maintenance?
Right. Well, I mean, I think the manufacturers have to have frank conversations with the dealers and explain to them that, look, this is where our product planning is going. You might only have one EV today, but you're going to have 10 of them 5 years from now. So get serious with this. And as far as that concern about, well, how are they going to make money on them? Well, they'll make money on the sale of the vehicle like they make money on sale of the vehicle now. There is less maintenance, less regular maintenance on electric vehicles. We know that. But there's still maintenance. There's still things still break, and the cars are going to need service. Take a look at a Tesla dealership, a Tesla service center right now. It's filled with cars. They're making repairs. Things break on these cars, and the dealerships will be able to make money on that. They'll have to switch their model a little bit because they're going to make less on regular maintenance, but they'll still make money on service and maintenance.
But the money still has to come from somewhere. So, if anything that Tesla showed us is that, their profits really do come from their markups on the cars, where right now dealerships a lot of times give out these cars for almost free, hoping you come back for maintenance. So do you think essentially what we're going to see is that people will spend less money on maintenance, but they will have to pay more upfront for this future electric cars?
That could be, for the dealership model to survive, it's possible that they might have to have some kind of a adjustment and have the MSRP slightly higher than it is now. If everybody's doing it, it's a fair scale. It's not like just one manufacturer is going to have more expensive cars. But like I said, I think there'll be ways for them to make money. They can sell charging equipment. They could sell subscriptions for charging on the networks, make deals with ChargePoint, Electrify America, offer charging subscriptions. You have to adapt to changing industry, and I think they will.
If you want to hear more from Tom, he's got his own YouTube channel, and I put a link to it in the description of this video. Now, let's talk about a couple of very much anticipated electric cars of the next year. Of course, I'm talking about the Volkswagen ID4 and the Ford Mustang Mach-E. And it looks like both will be able to deliver on the promised EPA range, which doesn't always happen. The ID4 will get the official 250 miles of the EPA range. That's using the 82 kilowatt hour battery with 77 kilowatt hours of usable energy. The starting price will be under $40,000. That's before the incentives, and I will be test driving the ID4 this week, and of course stay tuned for my full review. And it looks like the Ford Mustang Mach-E will deliver on its promised 300 miles of EPA range. That's with 88 kilowatt-hour battery and a starting price just under $44,000. I will be test driving that one in a couple of weeks as well, but the great news is that deliveries for both will start before the end of the year. Elon Musk had a rare public appearance, or at least a virtual public appearance, when he was speaking at the 2020 European Conference on Batteries. The world's second richest man, which he now is, has mentioned a new estimated range for the Tesla's semi-truck. If you remember, at the original unveiling over 3 years ago, the range was announced as 500 miles, and then a year later he opted to 600 miles. Now he says it will be up to 1,000 kilometers, which is about 621 miles. Now, I know this video looks like it was shot on a flip phone camera from the late 90s, but this is the best quality video I've found of that interview. If you watch this channel regularly, you probably remember that last week's top story was about Rivian launching their configurator, and before I was even able to post this video for you guys, Rivian announced that they are all sold out of their launch edition, which means everything that they plan to produce next year is now spoken for. It looks like the only people who will be able to get their hands on their Rivian vehicles next year are the reservation holders, which is, you know, very much fair because they were the first ones to believe in the brand. And after that, in 2022, the rest of the models will be available and anybody can configure those right now. Looks like the feud between Tesla and XPeng Motors is heating up again after the XPeng CEO has released some harsh words in response to Elon Musk's tweet, once again accusing XPeng Motors of stealing the self-driving code from them and Apple. Essentially, as you can see from these translated quotes from the XPeng Motors CEO, he vowed to beat Tesla as a self-driving tech leader, including their expansion to Europe. Full disclosure, XPeng Motors is one of our sponsors, but as always, it never stops me from giving you guys the full story. Now, I gotta say, it doesn't look good for you if you are a Chinese company and 2 of your employees have been accused of the same thing, which is stealing IP from other companies. On the other hand, I have looked into the story multiple times in depth and came up with the same conclusion as other EV journalists. What I found out that both accusations from Tesla and Apple were made back in 2018 and 2019, yet no public or courtroom proof has been submitted to date. The former Tesla employee did admit to downloading the source code while he was working at Tesla, but there's absolutely zero proof right now that he gave that to anybody, including the XPeng Motors. XPeng Motors has also agreed to provide their source code to a neutral third party to compare to Tesla to prove that they have not copied anything. On top of that, XPeng Motors will be using a LiDAR, which means it will not be compatible with any Tesla code because Tesla has rejected that technology a long time ago. But by the end of the day, as I hope most of you have learned, that whatever Elon Musk says should be taken with a grain of salt. After all, Elon has said many things that now we know were never true, from accusing people of horrible crimes to promising to go private and predicting the end of COVID by the end of April. Well, I guess he was right on that part, just got the year wrong. But at the end of the day, I think both CEOs are acting childish, granted that this type of IP theft accusations and lawsuits happen all the time, especially in the high-tech industry, and should be handled in the courtrooms like adults and not on social media like teenagers. Back to General Motors, and last week we were able to see what the original and earlier sketches of the Hummer EV looked like. And I gotta tell you, to be honest with you, I like most of them better than the final product, and there's nothing wrong with what Hummer EV is going to look like going in production. A lot of people absolutely love it. I just think this was a missed opportunity. This was a chance for GM to show that they are ready for the cutting edge technology, they are ready for the electric vehicles, and they could have shown it with a cutting edge design. I think this is what the most of us thought the Cybertruck was going to look like. Let me know in the comment section if you agree. We all know that Tesla Model S and Model X are due for a refresh, even though they are iconic the way they are, and it looks like it may be finally coming in March. And the reason for that is because it looks like Tesla is increasing prices for their European customers for the cars that are going to be delivered in March and on. But the price increase is not even across the entire lineup. For example, the Model 3 is going to get an increase of about $1,000 of American dollars converted from euros, where the Model S and Model X will see an increase of up to $6,000 of American dollars. But if you remember, Tesla decreased the prices here in the United States for the Model S and X, last one to one-up Lucid with the not at all juvenile humor inspired price tag of $69,420. So either there is a refresh that's coming up and Tesla is going to charge more for it, or Tesla just has a higher demand than the supply in Europe and they want to make some extra money. But I do think that any auto manufacturer should let their customers know when they're paying their hard-earned money for a car that the one that they're getting is not going to look like the one that they're looking at right now at all. Staying with the European market theme for now, you will never guess which electric car was the most popular in Europe in October as far as sales are concerned. It was the Volkswagen ID.3 that took that spot from the Renault Zoe, the leader from the last month, but the biggest surprise was the fact that no Tesla model, including the Model 3, was anywhere near the top 10. Overall for the year, the Model 3 is in the number 2 spot, right behind the Zoe. Porsche CEO Oliver Blume made a very interesting and daring statement saying that Porsche will sell over 20,000 Taycans by the end of the year. Now, don't get me wrong, this would be an amazing news. However, the reason I have my doubts is because Porsche sold less than 5,000 of Taycans in the first half of the year, and about a month ago, they were still at less than 10,000 Taycans sold. Now, I'm not really sure if Porsche can deliver as many cars in the last 2 months of the year as they delivered in the first 10, but if this does happen, this would be a huge achievement. If you're wondering what to watch next, how about my latest conversation with Sandy Munro, where I have challenged him to defend some of the Tesla Battery Day claims that got some pushback from around the industry. Watch me play the devil's advocate in that video that I linked to in the description of this video. And of course, if you're watching me on YouTube, you can click on it right over there. All right, looking forward to all of your comments. Other than that, see you guys next time, and remember to stay charged.